a lot of times, if you're not making money, you don't have a tax problem. So a lot of times I get people, they just so tax. I'm like, bro, make no shade.
No, but this is good.
Yeah.
Read us. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but it's like you gotta make some money first, and
Yes.
then you come to me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Every Day is a Yay! Woo! Yay Nation. Every day is a yay when you got money. You know what I'm saying? Money, 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 money. So today, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about financial literacy. How are you making your money grow? And this iconic guest knows that all too well. He's here to support and inspire the next generation to grow their wealth, grow their businesses, and just grow a life of a safe financial foundation. So give it up for the founder and CEO of Wiggs CPA and Tax and Accounting, Darion Wiggs! Woo! How are you feeling?
I'm doing amazing.
Yes, tell us more about you.
Yeah, I guess so. First of all, I'm gonna try to match your energy for the next
You
hour.
got
But yeah. So as mentioned, my name is Darion Wiggs. I'm a licensed certified public accountant.
Yes.
And as mentioned, I have my own accounting firm where we specialize in working with small business owners, providing bookkeeping, payroll, but most importantly, tax planning. So just helping people learn about taxes, but also implement those strategies you hear about. And most importantly, just giving back to the community. So I'm from the south suburbs of Chicago. So didn't come from much really. So my goal is to not only just learn about money at the personal level for me, but also figure out ways to make it consumable for everybody else so they can grow businesses and build wealth for themselves. So
Nice. Okay, period. Give it up. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. No.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about beyond the numbers, right? How does it mean to like grow your financial wealth, but also like your future and all of that. But before we dive in, we have a very special segment.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. We got the Goblet of Smiles! Woo! So in this section, you're going to pick a question, any question, and the goal is to bring a smile to you and a smile to Yay Nation. Okay. So go ahead, pick one and read it aloud.
All right, close my eyes.
Yes.
Uh-oh. It's a long one. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay. If you could time travel, where and when would you go and why? Ooh, I haven't even thought of this one. Well, the first thing that came to my mind, I would probably travel to 1985.
Okay.
Back to when the Bears were finally good in football, because I'm tired of watching us lose every single Sunday, because I feel like me watching football is like, I watch every Sunday. That's like my getaway. And if I'm seriously answering this question, I think I would go to that time just because, one, it was just a different time period.
Yeah.
And then also, like I said, for the sport atmosphere being here in Chicago,
Exactly.
I would enjoy that. So that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay, period.
Yeah,
That's funny when the Bears were good.
Hey, look, I'm tired of them. So first thing that came to my mind, that's what I'm going to say.
That's wild. Okay, this one's tricky.
Okay.
This one's tricky for me because it's like, do I really want to go back? I don't know. I kind of want to go back to the 2000s, but like not as a kid. Does that make sense? Like I wish I was an adult in the 2000s because I just feel like the music was better. Don't sue me, folks that are like, hey, 90s, 80s, 70s better. But still, I just like the 2000s Y2K vibe. Like it was just, I liked it. It was like right before like the social media took over. So like I like that honey spot.
Okay.
I feel like someone's gonna come for me though.
Yeah, no.
But still, I like those times.
Yeah. That's when we didn't have responsibilities
Exactly.
either. You know, you could just wake up and eat and go back to sleep.
Exactly. Period.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think that's it. I'm like was trying to, but honestly, no. I think it's the 2000s. I want to, if it's not the 2000s, maybe jumping into the future, but I don't think I want to jump into the future too much.
Yeah, not yet.
I want to work, exactly. Like, I want to work on being in the present.
Yeah.
That's a tricky question.
It is. And now that I think about it a little, I would go to the early 1990s. I feel like a lot of, they say the way that our culture is shaped, and just in general with music and sports, like just to kind of see it for myself so I can get my own opinion.
Exactly. It's like, are y'all really, is that really right?
Like, is Jordan really the GOAT? Like, is Tupac and Biggie? Like,
like, what was that?
Yeah,
you know?
I would love to like see it live in person.
Yeah.
So I can have my own opinion. Because being born in the late 1990s, we're getting old, by the way. 97, it's like, I was born in the 90s. I remember a lot of things from that period just because of the early 2000s, but the rest of it is a blur.
Exactly. So it's like just going back and like seeing like, hey, what was actually the foundation?
There you go. Have a journal to myself so I can actually look back at it.
Exactly. Period.
Yeah.
Well, give it up for the Goblet of Smiles. All right, Darion Wiggs, CPA to the rescue. For real.
Yeah.
So let's just break it down. Like, what does CPA actually mean? Yeah.
Gotcha. So CPA is Certified Public Accountant.
Okay.
So a lot of times, become a CPA, you got to have 150 credit hours at a accredited university. So I went to U of I.
Period.
ILL? Right. ILL, INI. I got you. So when you hear CPA, you hear somebody, okay, this person clearly went to school for this. They got a bachelor's degree. They got a master's degree. And one thing that people don't take into consideration is that you need to have public accounting experience. So you have to work at a larger corporation for at least a year at a bare minimum in order to get your license. So that's what a CPA is, if you want to break it down from a technical term. But that's pretty much somebody who studied accounting, got a well-versed experience in understanding how business operates, not only from the front end, but the back end with where the money is going in and out, like very understanding it from a different lens to help the business owner, the CEO, make more strategic decisions. So that's pretty much what a CPA is.
Okay. No, thank you for breaking that down, because I think that's something that folks need to understand, like all the training you all have to go through, because we're trusting you with our money.
Exactly.
So is this something you always wanted to do, or like when did this become like, hey, I got to be a CPA?
Yeah. So first of all, I didn't know what I signed up for. Let's start there.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I think for me, I just remember one day riding down and say Halsted maybe on the way through Inglewood, Mont, and she was asking me, what do you want to do for a living? I was like, I don't know. And I rode past the place. I pointed at it. I was like, she said, that's a bank. You want to be an accountant? I was like, okay, cool. All right. So my entire life literally has been shaped around that moment, because after that, I started doing research. So that was one of the first professions I started looking into. And it started to make sense to our guys. Like, hey, you didn't grow up much. You don't know that much about money. The best way to learn about money is to study something that's going to teach you about money. That was my logic. So as I got older, started taking accounting classes and just thinking about different ways that I could be more impactful to my family down the road, accounting just became my top choice. So I got very fortunate, went to U of I. It was like number 2 in the nation for accounting. So it was a no-brainer for me. So I went there, and then I quickly realized a year or two in that I didn't want to do accounting. It was a lot more strategic, from the point where it forced me to think differently from a different lens, like how business operates. When you hear accounting, you think, oh, numbers guy, right? It's budgets, this, that. But like, I had to force myself to rewire the way I thought about the process, and I just wasn't comfortable with it at first. But I stuck it out. Started off in corporate America and worked there a little bit. We could talk about that in a minute. But accounting, like I said, it was something I thought about from the early stages. And now that I do what I do, I love it. But in the beginning, it was kind of up and down.
It was kind of, because it's like when you're in the thick of it, when it's really, really tough, it's like, okay, am I really supposed to do that?
Exactly.
But I think that's why there's an importance that you tie it with your why. And it seems like part of your why is like, how do I make sure that the next generation feels comfortable with money? So like, kind of moving forward. So you said there's a difference between, but you're still doing accounting with CPA.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Look, y'all, I'm still trying to learn
and I
all
can break
this.
that down even more. The reason I said that way, because when you hear CPA, there's CPAs that do 1,000 different things, right? You have a CPA that specializes in tax, which is me. You have a CPA that does audit, which is the ones that's check and make sure Google, Apple, these larger corporations, making sure that their financial statements are accurate. Then there are CPAs who specialize in stocks and investing and teaching you about, investing from that lens. So there's different things. So I have a friend that's a CPA. He may not be a specialist in the tax side of things, but he is on the financial investing side. So CPA is just kind of a broad kind of topic, but then within it is different specializations, similar to a doctor. You can go to a doctor, But if your knee hurt, there's a special type of doctor you're going to go
knee.
to. Right. Same thing with heart surgeons,
Yes.
etc. So that's why I kind of broke CPA down. It's more like kind of broad kind of
So why taxes?
Yeah. So another thing, I never wanted to do tax.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's mostly because when you learn it in school, they teach you how to do tax for larger corporations. So for me, that was boring. I'm like, one, is too much going on. This taxes for Google or let's say GameStop or something. Like it was a bit complicated, and it's just something I wasn't interested in. But when
it was
you
like
don't,
not as personable.
Yeah, and then when you don't know what you want to do when you study accounting, you kind of get tossed as an auditor because that's kind of like the general. Like you're going to understand how business operates, and at the same time, you're going to get some unique experiences, kind of figure out. So for me, tax was one of those things where, as a CPA, you assume I know taxes. Like just not knowing that, there's different sections within it. Yeah. You assume. So everybody in my family, all friends, everybody, hey, do my taxes. I'm like, bro, I've never done the tax return a day in my life. I can't help you.
I do an audit though.
Yeah, so just if you hear somebody's a CPA, do not assume they know taxes. Don't. And that's one of the things. I didn't know it, and I was like, okay. So I went through this battle in life where I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was trying to figure out how can I still use this financial background that I have, because I was thinking about teaching. So
wow,
I guess I'll go down my little rabbit hole right now. Is that when I did study abroad, so 2018.
Where'd you study abroad?
I went to Barcelona.
Okay.
So I was.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yasmin, she did Barcelona.
Yeah.
Did y'all do the same program?
We didn't do the same program, but I did actually go to Madrid with her for a trip. It was a group trip. So
nice.
Yeah, I know exactly.
She was in earlier on season 1, y'all. Yasmin was there. Okay, sorry, keep going. Okay, this is cool. Look,
assuming we talking about the same one.
Exactly.
But that was the first time in my life where I got to take my foot off the gas pedal with school, and I had the first time I was able to think about life from a different lens.
Yeah, tell me more.
When you leave the United States, I want to say the pace, but the pace of life is a lot slower. But like here, especially being in a big city, is grind, work, build wealth, fancy cars. It's all about that. But there, life just slowed down. It was the first time my classes were super easy. And I actually, most importantly, had time to think about, okay, you're 21 now. Yeah. What do you want to do with your life?
Exactly.
I finally had the opportunity to sit back and figure out my purpose, to get a better idea of it. And I was like, I want to teach. I want to be in classrooms so I can have a direct impact on my community. Yeah. And I felt like we're talking about financial literacy. The best way to do it is to catch them when they're young. So I was considering doing Teach for America, which would allow me to go into low-income communities and actually be that black man in those classrooms teaching kids about financial literacy. But I was in too deep with accounting. So I had to stick it out, and I also had a full ride scholarship. So I was like, I don't want to waste this. So let me do it. Yeah. So I stuck with the route. I knew I wanted to teach. But then the pandemic happened, so I was kind of stuck in corporate America in a sense. But to answer your question, why did I decide tax? Because I knew no matter what I decided to do, I wanted to learn how to do taxes, because there's nothing certain in life except for death and taxes, right?
Exactly.
So it's not going nowhere, and I felt like as a CPA too, I can add a lot of value just to my community, my friends, and my family by knowing taxes. So I dabbled into it a little bit, worked at a smaller tax firm for a year, and I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. And from then, I went all in on it. I started studying YouTube University, studying everything, reading every single book, listening to every podcast, and just really immersing myself into the culture and just learning about it. And from then, I realized that working with small business owners, not only is it allowing me to fulfill my purpose and actually teaching people, but I also get to work with taxes at a smaller level, smaller scale, and to break it down to a more consumable way. So that's how I got into taxes. Long story short, wasn't part of the plan, but I actually enjoy it. There's so many different ways you can tackle it. But working with small business owners and personal taxes, like, that's perfect for me.
No, it's perfect, because like your story is the true definition of everything happens for a reason, right? Like you're still getting everything, like you said. You wanted to teach. You're still being able to work with finances, but you're also able to make an impact and a direct impact as well. So to be someone that's like handling someone's money, right? That can be really scary. Like money could just be scary topics, salaries, all of that. How do you make it more personable so then folks do trust you, especially small business owners? Like our businesses are our babies. So like, how do you break through that barrier?
It's a tough one at times. Yeah. But you would assume that, well, luckily, if somebody comes to a CPA, they're pretty much open to talk about the money. Of course. Now, we're just having a random conversation. It's kind of hard to bring it up. But when I normally do my consultation calls, I kind of just sit back and listen to you explain your situation. And we break it down little by little. And I try to make it as simple as possible. By one, I understand where you're at today and your end goal. And instead of just saying, this is what you got to do, I kind of help clients create strategic kind of steps to get to where they're trying to get. But it's kind of hard at times to break through that barrier. But like I do it bits by bits because money can be overwhelming.
It can.
And especially somebody in the financial space, there's so many different ways to invest, right? So many different ways to save, so many different avenues to make money in general. So I just really try to get to know the person first so that I can better advise them, okay, this type of person I'm getting, type of vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
This is your purpose. This is kind of like your long-term goals. And I kind of meet them where they're at and we create a plan based on that. So it takes time, but that's why I focus on relationships first. Because at the end of the day, your CPA should be somebody you trust and have a relationship with because we have all your information.
Literally.
And I want you to trust me.
Yeah.
And I want to be a trustworthy individual. And I also want to build a relationship with you because I want to make sure you're someone I'm comfortable working with, right?
Yeah.
So no point in me giving you all this advice and you're not going to implement it. I don't want to waste my time either.
Exactly, right.
So it's kind of a two-way street there, but listening and just meeting people where they're at and then breaking it down to a more simplified way so they can accomplish their financial goals.
So kind of building on that, what's like the biggest mistake you see like early businesses do with their money? Or just like folks that are coming to you, like what are the mistakes you're already seeing where it's like, yo, I need to come in and help them? Yeah.
The biggest mistake I see with new business owners is they worry about taxes on day one, which is fine. But a lot of times, if you're not making money, you don't have a tax problem. So a lot of times I get people, they just so tax. I'm like, bro, make no shade.
No, but this is good. Read us. Go ahead.
But it's like you gotta make some money first, and then you come to me. But long story short, a lot of people just don't know where they're going, which is fine because business owners, we don't know where we're going exactly. But the biggest mistake I see is just people not being organized. Not only do you got to organize how to actually operate and run your business, but your finances is your biggest responsibility.
Yeah.
You're spending all this money for you, investing in mics and cameras and the backdrop, everything, right? That takes money.
Oh, this is money.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're just swiping. They're just swiping and they make, I made $500 this week. And it's like, but do you know your expenses? And then when it's time to do taxes, it's a headache. And then when it's time to actually start implementing those advanced tax strategies when you are making money, if you're not keeping track of your expenses or having some type of bookkeeping system early on, it makes owning a business a headache for a lot of business owners. So.
Well, yeah, I'm going through it.
Yeah, don't worry. We're going to get you right by the end of this. But
period.
I got you.
But I'm glad you said that because it's me and then like talking to other business owners, it's the same thing. Like, it's April, tax season. And then we're talking about this in like February. Geez. So it's like, okay, let's hit up a CPA. But we don't even think about, because like for me as a business owner, when I think about bookkeeping, it's like, okay, what are our operations and what are we doing? And like, I know no matter what, I discipline myself to just bookkeep. This is how much production is. But then there's all the other accounts you have just to run your business, like our ClickUp management system or Notion or things like that. So I guess what would be your advice without giving away your services too much? Okay, right? Because period.
If I give away everything on this show, then I don't know enough.
Okay,
so I got you.
Get up. Okay. So what would be those first steps? Because I think what you just said is like okay, don't just focus on taxes.
Yeah.
So if it's like, hey, I want to be a responsible business owner or just a responsible person with my finances, what actually should I be worrying about or focusing on? Let's not say worry because it's yay.
Yeah,
okay. What are like the top 3 things that really should be my priority?
For business owners, just about finances?
Yeah, we'll say business owners first and then people who aren't focusing on business.
Yeah, I got 2 rules.
Go ahead.
Right. Rule number 1 is that in order to win in taxes, you need to know the rules. See, a lot of people view taxes as the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And they see it as 70,000 plus pages when you look at the tax code.
Yeah.
But it's not 70,000 plus pages teaching you how to pay taxes. It's 70,000 plus pages teaching you how to legally avoid paying taxes. But we never sit down and we're not educated about it. And it's not our fault because they don't teach in the education system, which is a lot to consume, even as a CPA, which is why I said, when you hear CPA, you got to realize that we all don't know taxes because they don't even teach us all of this stuff in school. So rule number 1 is that you need to understand the rules. You need to understand that taxes were not made for W-2 employees. They were made for entrepreneurs and investors. Because when you're a W-2 employee, let's say you make $100,000, IRS takes your money, and then you get to spend what's left. But when you're a business owner, you can make the same $100,000, but then the IRS allows you to spend money on anything that's ordinary and necessary to operate your business, and then you pay taxes on what's left. But if you do it the right way, there won't be any money left to pay taxes on. You see, you said something very important when you was like, we think about taxes in February, right? And then file them in April. But when you know you're about to become an entrepreneur or get into the business world, you need to understand that there's 2 different tax seasons. There's tax prep season. That's January, February, April, where you come to your accountant and be like, hey, this is my W-2, this is my 1099, here's my expenses. I'm going to tell you exactly what you owe, right? But there's tax planning season. That's when you proactively plan for taxes throughout the year. So outside of January, February, March, April, that's when you're sitting down, reviewing your books, and then implementing those more advanced tax strategies throughout the year. See, a lot of times what's going to happen is January is going to come and people's going to be like, Darion, hey, I know my tax is due in a few weeks. Can you help me reduce my tax bill? I'm like, bro, it's 2025 and you're trying to reduce your 2024 tax bill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we need to shift our mindsets and understand that we need to work on our tax bill throughout the year so that make our lives a lot easier. So that's rule number 1. Understand the rules. That's why the wealthy people are winning. And rule number two is that you got to understand what a write-off is.
Okay.
A write-off. Code section 162.8, the only one you need to think about.
Where is this? Wait, what? You said 161.28?
Yeah,
where is that?
If you Google it, look it up. So the IRS, like I said, the pages is 70,000 plus pages.
Okay.
But code 162A is strictly for business owners, and it lets you know that, hey, if an expense is ordinary and necessary to operate your business, then you can write it off on your tax return to offset your taxable income. So like I said, if you make $100,000 as a business owner, you don't pay taxes on $100,000. You pay taxes on what's left after your expenses. So that's what that rule is pretty much saying. So we just need to understand that rule, ordinary necessary, can be taken out of proportion, right? This is not me saying go buy a private jet or a yacht, right? Or
it's like be responsible.
Yeah, be
folks.
responsible. But you got to think about it. A lot of times when we become business owners, and I break it down even more, is that a lot of our day-to-day expenses automatically become deductible. Yeah. So if you got a W-2, you're not being able to deduct your rent. You're not being able to deduct some of your auto expenses, your phone bill, your internet. Exactly. But now you got a business, right? I need my phone to be available, so that's deductible. I need my internet. I need my Zoom subscription. I need my MacBook. I need my iPad. I need my headset. Like, I need all of these expenses. I rent, right? If I haven't mentioned that, all these things that you're already paying for as a business owner, those things become deductible. So you just need to be educated about those. So learn the rules and also understand what a write-off is so that you can strategically implement those things throughout the year. So I know that was long-winded, but hopefully.
No, first of all, there's no such thing as long-winded here, especially with what you're talking about. And I just appreciate the insight you're providing because that's what makes you stand out from a lot of other CPAs. A lot of other CPAs are like, just come to me when you want to file your taxes. Yeah. They don't care. Let's just say, no, they don't care from personal experience. Yeah. And even this is like, oh, shoot. Like, there's so much I'm already learning right now as a business owner. Like, okay, I actually can deduct all these things. And I've, there's some folks that are balancing doing this with the W-2. I'm no longer balancing it with the W-2. Okay. Period.
Okay. Some respect on her name.
Many wants to. But that's another question. Yeah. But anyways, the point is, no W-2. No W-2 right now. Yeah. But the point is, what about folks that are in that situation? So I guess just making sure that they're separating, because there's a lot of folks that are balancing that 9 to 5 to finance their business. Yeah. How do you clearly separate? Because I know for me, the guidance I had is just have a business card and then have your personal card. Yeah. But any other advice you have to folks to make sure that they're splitting the two?
Yeah. Get your LLC, get the business credit card, get the credit. No, I'm messing with that. That's how they be on the internet, right?
That's really what they say.
Yeah. Go get a $100,000 line of credit. No. My advice, well, if you have a W-2 job and you also have a business on the side, you're in a wonderful position. I actually highly prefer that and recommend that for people because, one, like I said, the tax code isn't made for W-2 employees, but if you have a business on the side, own a rental property, you investor, where you get the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is, well, I'm going to ask you a question first before I go on the rant, is that if you have a W-2 job and you have a business, the number one thing you need to do is separate business and personal finances. Okay. You don't need an LLC necessarily, right? A lot of people think you need one, but if the easiest way to do it, if you plan, okay, I'm going to stick with this business. I want to grow it. I want to make branding a little bit easier. I want to build credit. And most importantly, I want that limited liability protection that comes with an LLC. Then that's the easiest route to go. And the first thing you would do, regardless if you're a sole proprietor, meaning you don't, okay, I'm going to break that down a little bit.
No, please. Yeah, keep doing.
So for anybody who wants to start a business, you start off as a sole proprietor. So if I right now say, hey, I'm going to start selling fans at this moment, I'm a sole proprietor. What that basically means is I can take business deductions. I can market my business. I can do the same thing everybody else can do. The only difference is that I'm not registered at the state level for a limited liability company, which is the LLC. So I don't have that legal protection. So you can still take. So if you have a W-2 job and you're trying to have a business on the side, you do not need an LLC to get started. But the moment you're like, hey, I'm going to take this business seriously. I want to start building business credit. Or I'm in an industry where I want to protect my name and protect my brand, so I want this limited liability protection for legal purposes, you set up an LLC.
Okay.
But regardless of what route you take, you need to have your personal credit cards and finances, right? But you also need if you got an LLC, one, you need a separate bank account, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't, you just make sure you want to have a separate bank account and credit card that's strictly for business-related expenses so that you can separate the two. So when it's time to do taxes, you can just look at those bank statements in your Excel file because you're keeping track of expenses, right?
As you should.
Right. Excel is perfectly fine in the beginning, y'all. Don't. But once you start growing your business, you want to get QuickBooks. But the big picture here is that you want to separate business and personal finances, because if you have a W-2 job, and the reality is when you start a business, especially in the startup years, you operate at a loss.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that you can take those losses to offset your W-2 wages. So if you're making $100,000 as a W-2 employee, well, that means you're paying taxes every 2 weeks, every time you get paid.
Yeah.
So you're already paying taxes. And then when it's time to file your taxes, you got a $20,000 loss from your business. Well, now your taxable income isn't $100,000, it's $80,000. So when you file your tax return,
hold on.
I can slow that down. Look.
No, this is really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I met you years ago.
Look. You technically did. No.
Okay, you did. Okay.
But yeah.
It's on me, y'all.
It's
But
all right.
still, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
let's walk it back.
Yep.
So, hold on. You said a lot, but let's get back to the part of,
Okay.
so W-2, you're getting taxed every 2 weeks. Okay? So that means your taxes are taken care of to an extent.
Right.
So you can, I'm just trying to reiterate what you said to make sure I understand it and Yay Nation understands it.
Yeah.
Right? But you were saying something about 80,000, 20,000. So like, it's basically like, let's do that, but you're also operating at a loss at your business. Okay, that's where I was kind of like lost. So like, does that mean like you just basically show your books of your business that you operate at a loss at to validate why you shouldn't be taxed as much?
Got you. I'm gonna break that down.
Yeah,
even more.
please. That's where
it's
I
gonna
was
be tax 99, not 101 no more for this
that's-
part. So people file their taxes and they wonder why they owe.
Yeah.
Because when and I always use 100,000 to make it easy. You make $100,000, your job makes you fill out a W-4 saying how much you want withheld from your checks.
Okay.
Sometimes they withhold too much. Sometimes they withhold too little. So when you file your taxes, you tell the IRS, I made $100,000. And the IRS, when we file your taxes, we look at it and be like, okay, based on the amount of money you made with your stocks, your retirement income, your business income, your W-2 wages, this is what tax bracket you fall in. And because of that, this is what you owe. And then we take the number that you owe and we compare it to how much taxes you paid throughout the year. So if your W-2 withholdings is more than what you actually owe, then you get a refund. If it's less, then you get a refund. So a lot of people get a refund. They're like, oh, the IRS, IRS paying me. No, they're giving you the money that you overpaid because you basically gave them a tax-free loan, right? An interest-free loan. Sorry about that. So that's how refunds work. So the way it works for you is if you're making $100,000, and all I'm saying is that first year of your business, you got $20,000 in expenses. You made some money, but when it's all said and done, you got a $20,000 loss. So like I said, they take the $100,000 minus the $20,000 in expenses.
Okay.
So your taxable income is really only $80K. So then when it's time to file your taxes, I'm like, hey, your taxable income is $80,000, so you owe $14,000 in taxes. But you already paid $20,000 in taxes.
So you're gonna get $6K.
So you get it, and then those numbers are made up. But that's how theoretically that's how it works. Is that with a W-2 job, use that money to fund your business. But remember, if you funding that business and it's ordinary and necessary expense to operate your business, then you can use that to essentially offset your W-2 wages. And now you're getting a refund, and you can reinvest that money back into your business so you can grow your business at the same time. A lot of people don't know about that.
Wow.
No, I just said.
No, literally,
Yeah.
I'm like.
But you've probably been doing it the whole time too. But like a lot of people like have due expenses.
Yeah.
And when it's time to file taxes, they miss out on a lot of deductions because they have doing it.
Yeah.
That's why if you're going to be a business owner, like really spend some time learning about not just taxes, but at the bare minimum bookkeeping, so you can know what an expense is. And then if you work with a CPA or EA, somebody who's qualified, a tax professional, then we can look at your P&L, be like, all right, this is what you're writing off.
Wait, P&L, profit
and loss statement, right?
Okay.
Income and expense statement. We're like, all right, this is what you have on your income and expense statement, but I noticed you missed this X, Y, and Z, right? Because expense statement don't capture your business mileage. It don't capture your home office expenses.
Wait, what's business mileage? Is that driving?
Yep, driving. So you get a 67-cent deduction for every mile you drive for your business. And a lot of people don't even keep track of mileage. So if I look at your tax return, you say, hey, I'm a realtor or I'm an artist. Well, obviously you drive around. And a lot of people don't even put mileage on their tax return because they don't know, one, how to keep track of mileage, and then two, they don't know they get a deduction for it. So it's just those little things where you can use TurboTax, but you'll skip a lot of those things. So that's why working with a qualified tax professional, we can look at the expenses you have, but then we can help you identify the areas you missed so that you can maximize your tax refund or just reduce your tax bill. That's the goal.
Y'all, Wiggs, CPA, tax and accounting, please. It's like a thing where it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And also it's like, why am I learning this now? Even though like some of it's familiar, it doesn't really hit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You got to hear it multiple times, you know?
Exactly. So like kind of going back. So let's say I'm a business owner, I'm starting out. The first thing would be like kind of take inventory and just start tracking things. Because I think like when I first started, I got QuickBooks because it's like, oh, QuickBooks is the right thing to do. But I'll be honest, I only use QuickBooks to like send invoices and everything. So I guess like when you said like folks should like kind of educate themselves on the books, like what is that? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, is there like a YouTube video or something where it's like, hey, just watch this or something? Yeah. Or is it just like, just work with the right person and they can walk you through it?
Yeah, I guess I have to make that YouTube video now, right?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so the basics, when I mean like just educate yourself about bookkeeping, is just one, very simple, understanding what's an income, right, how to report that, and what's an expense. That's step one. I think that's simple. The next one is like learning how to categorize your transactions. And what that means is if you shopping on Amazon, you shopping at Menards, if you're in the real estate industry, or you grabbing food, like you got a system for yourself so that you keep track of how much you're spending in each category. So that's what I would do. When you first start a business, as I mentioned, using Excel is perfectly fine, especially if you're like in a startup phase and you're only spending a few $1,000s a year. But the big picture is that you're keeping track of it. See, a lot of times people don't even have those separate bank accounts. So when it's time to keep track of expenses during tax time, when they come around, now you got a million transactions for the entire year. And it's really hard to know what you spent in August for a business expense and you doing your taxes in April of the next year.
Exactly.
So it's just getting in the habit, like every 2 weeks, every week, or at least once a month, just going through those bank statements. Hopefully you got a whole separate account for your business, but just going through those and categorizing those transactions. That's the starter phase. Now, QuickBooks is perfectly fine because if you do have a separate business bank account and a business credit card, you link it to QuickBooks, and all those transactions pop up there, and you just go in there and categorize. All right, this meals, this supplies, this education, this is travel.
Like you still got to do the work.
You still have to do it. Yeah.
I like signed up and then I just kind of let it. Do
So you still have to do the work, but like that's one of the best ways as your business start growing. Now, like I say, Excel, QuickBooks, Fiverr. Like if I specialize in working with like 6-figure business owners, so I don't mind putting different people out there. But there's like other firms, or just you work with an independent contractor like on Fiverr, and they'll do your books for $10, $20, $30 an hour. Like it's very cheap. But as your business grows, and now you got more advanced transactions, right? People are loaning you money. You got employees, right? You're starting to put equity in, take equity out. That's not just going to impact your P&L, your profit and loss statement. But now we're getting into cash flow statements and balance sheets. That gets a little complicated. That's when you need to have somebody come in and do it. But early stages, got a W-2, you got a business on the side, use Excel. If not, graduate to QuickBooks. Educate yourself on how to do it if there's the early stages of your business. If not, invest in Fiverr, right? And then once your business start growing, you're like, okay, I need somebody who's actually not just going to categorize these transactions, but explain to me what these numbers mean. Explain to me what these numbers mean and help me implement unique tax strategies based on my situation. That's when you reach out to a CPA or a tax preparer or bookkeeper that can give you a different perspective on your books.
So you kind of, it's kind of a good transition into like building like your dream team. So there's the dream team as like a person where it's like, hey, I want a financial support dream team. Okay. And then there's also your actual dream team when it comes to building your business. So I want to first tackle the angles like, hey, I want to make sure I have the right coverage. So
Yeah.
when I think about coverage, there's like taxes, but then there's also like making sure my money is growing for me.
Yep.
And then also just making sure that like I'm good when it comes to like life insurance and all that stuff. What do you think someone ideally needs to make sure that they're set up good financially and also set up for building generational wealth?
Yeah. Well, all of that's a great question because a lot of people don't think about it, right? So number one, anytime taxes, you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Let's start out there. So you need a qualified tax professional on your team. Number two, right? How y'all doing? My name is Darion. Number two is that a lot of people get these two mixed up, where you got a CPA or tax professional, tax specialist. That's what I like to call myself. And you have a financial advisor. I'm going to teach you how to save money as a CPA. Your financial advisor is going to teach you how to invest the money. So when you start talking about, okay, what do I need to invest in terms of index funds, which is the stock market, they can dive into cryptocurrency if you want them to. But most importantly, they're going to teach you about life insurance, how to diversify your portfolio, and most importantly, how to accomplish your long-term retirement goals down the road by helping you implement those different strategies today. So CPA help you save money. Financial advisor will help you get to that next level by helping you actually put that money into different vehicles. And then if you want to get into real estate, you need a realtor, you need a lender, but you do need to have those people on top of a lawyer, right? Everybody needs a lawyer in their network. I got a couple, I got my go-to person, but I have a couple that when you think about real estate, you need a lawyer, right? You think about taxes, you need a lawyer. You think about anything, you need a lawyer. So just make sure you have a lawyer, a CPA, a financial advisor, a realtor, and a lender, and an insurance broker. The list goes on, but you need to have at least somebody. A lot of people don't have anybody, right?
Yeah.
Or they're taking advice from the internet and they're thinking that's enough, but it's levels to it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these things, especially with taxes and investing in general, has different rules and phase out. So I can say something, but it isn't always that sweet to implement it. So you do need those people that I just named basically to help you implement those strategies.
So then what are the qualities that you should look for in like a CPA and a financial advisor to make sure you got the right person? Because I mentioned it, like I've worked with CPAs in the past where it's like, oh, just come to me and like I'll file your taxes.
Yeah.
But it's like, not everyone's you.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you suss out like, hey, I'm working with the right person, or this is probably not a good fit and they just want my money?
Got you. And what you just described is a traditional way for tax, right?
Okay.
Like I said, you got your tax preparer and you got your tax strategist, right? CPAs aren't the only people doing taxes. You can do taxes. You can do taxes. Your mama can do taxes. Your grandma, right? Anybody can do taxes. Those are the people you just go to.
Can we break down? I know it sounds elementary, but what does it mean to actually do taxes? Like, is it like you're just like, this is what I made, and then you mail it in? Like, what is that process?
Oh, that's how it used to be. That's just basically, like I said, you got tax planning season, tax prep season.
Yeah.
Tax prep season is when you get at the end of January, the IRS, your job, and everybody will mail you all your tax forms.
Yeah.
So you get your 1099s from Robinhood, you get your W-2 from your job, 1099s from independent contractor work, 1099. It's a bunch of forms that you will get.
Yeah.
And then tax preparers, the tax preparation process is you give them those forms, and then they put that into the software with the IRS to let you know, all right, this is how much you owe based on how much you made throughout the year.
But they do that.
That's what you sign up for when you say, hey, I want my taxes prepped.
Okay, but you said we can do that on our own.
If depending on your situation, if you just got a W-2 and you by yourself, do it on your own.
Okay,
But
cool. That's what I wanted to like.
Yeah. But if that's TurboTax exists for a reason.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because there's different stuff. But if you got a business, right? You investing in stocks, you investing in real estate, like you're wasting time and money by doing it by yourself. But to answer your question, tax prep, that's typically what people sign up for when they go to their accountant in February, April, right?
Okay.
But what I do is I do taxes during tax time, but a small amount of us specialize as tax strategists working with small business owners proactively throughout the year. After April, I don't want to see a tax return.
Yeah.
If you're not part of my 10 to 15 signature core clients, the folks that I'm calling once every other week, the people I'm doing bookkeeping for, payroll for, meeting with quarterly, and just implementing more advanced tax strategies throughout the year, that's the services that people need, especially when you know you got a business and you want to take it to the next level. Those are tax strategies. So tax preparers, anybody can do it. They be an EA, no knock on them, but anybody can be an EA. You literally just take an exam. You can be studying chemistry.
Wait,
or,
EA?
enrolled agent. So you hear tax preparers, That's anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You got the EAs, which is the highest level that you can get with the IRS, but you can have any background for it. If you decide you want to be an EA, you take an exam. It's hard, but you take the exam, you pass, you can file taxes and represent your clients too as well. And you got the CPAs. That's us. We can do pretty much everything, and we have an accounting background, so we understand bookkeeping and taxes and everything from a different lens. So it's levels to it. But to answer your question, how do you find the right one for you? Is one, just figure out your long-term goals, so that when you have those conversations with your accountant, your tax preparer, you can make sure they're a good fit by saying, hey, I want to invest in real estate. Do you own a rental property? Like, can you help me? Hey, I have a small business owner where I do podcasts, TV shows. Do you have clients in this field? Like, you want to work with somebody who specializes in your industry, has those experiences, so we can better point you in the right direction.
Got you. So just make sure that they're well-versed in what you do.
There you go. Yep.
Okay, cool. So now let's talk about your dream team, right? It takes a lot to like actually build your own business, and you decide, hey, I'm going to just build my own firm, right? What does it look like for you when it comes to your team and figuring out who you want to work with?
Yeah, I guess for me, building my team. So when I first started my business, it was going to be a one-man army. I was like, I got this. And then I quickly realized, like, what's the point of starting a business if I'm going to do this by myself?
Literally.
I was like, and it clicked to me. And I spent this entire summer, the last couple months, building out a team. So I guess my starter kit for what helped me get to where I'm at today, my business will be 2 years old in like a week. So I'm at the 2-year mark. And thank you. So October 20th, it's federal holiday now.
I can hear it.
But step one is that for me, would help me. I can speak my personal experience.
Yeah, please do.
Gotta have a mentor. I think one thing, especially when you're tapping into new industries, is that it's kind of hard to visualize certain things if you've never seen it before. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. So for me, having a mentor, right, helped out a ton. Shout out to Carter if you see this. It's helped out a ton because I can capitalize on some of his mistakes because he's given me his best advice possible, mistakes that he's made, so he makes sure I doesn't make the same ones, right? So that's helped out a ton, and then it's given me so much exposure to where I can be that it makes the path and the journey to get there a whole lot easier. So one, a mentor, right?
Yes.
Number two is you need an assistant. And before I go into like what you need and what I needed is like it takes a minute to grow businesses. I realize.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times we see overnight success. Yeah. And I kid you not, I started my business. We're gonna say 2 years ago. Yeah. And I'm finally able to do what I started my business to do as of 10 days ago. Because I took the precious time to implement those systems and the infrastructure to do it. But to answer your question, you need an assistant. You need somebody doing your books. Me personally, I do my own, but now I have a team to do it. But you just need an assistant, a mentor, and then somebody out there making the calls for you too as well. Because what's going to happen is when you're CEO, first stage of your business, you're wearing multiple hats. Exactly. You're doing everything. Oh, so you need to figure out. I've been trying to build out a team, and I record everything I don't like doing. Like if it's something I'm doing,
that's important.
Task, you gotta create those systems. When I first started my business, I created systems from day one so that if I were to give all my notes to you, you can run my business. You probably can't have those same tax planning calls, but the logistic part in terms of the structure, how it's set up, the customer experience.
Yeah, like you can set them through the beginning of the journey.
Exactly. Yeah, that's documented, and I'm in the process of training people to help with that stuff. So I have my assistant, she's amazing. And the next year, I'm going to have somebody kind of taking some of those onboarding calls, the sales team. But it's a slow process. But right now, I have at least, I want to say 4 or 5 people that I work with. Then I'm planning on growing and adding at least 2 to 3 people over the next year and a half.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So like in that journey, right, it's not easy. It's not easy. I guess what are like those moments where you're like, man, why am I doing this? Like, what are those days or what are those trying times where it's like, man. Yeah.
I've been very, very, very fortunate to not have many of those days.
But good.
I think, and for me, it was like, one, I was already, I don't know if I can use this word, but I was working a slave shift for corporate America.
Look, we talk about everything. Let's talk about everything. Cool. Say it again for the crowd.
I was working slave shifts for somebody else on somebody else's dreams and goals.
And I think people need to recognize that's what it is. If you're not investing in yourself, you're investing in someone else's dreams.
And there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, when my mind shifted, if I'm going to spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week working for you, I shouldn't have a problem working 60, 70, 80 hours for myself. So because of that and going into my business and actually doing something that I actually enjoy doing, I rarely have those days because I look at running a business, one, it's like my masterpiece in the sense where it's like, the beautiful thing about this is, and I look at it as a school project where they give you an end goal and you kind of got to come up with the steps. Like every day I get to create a yay day.
Yeah.
Every day I get to create a customized day that's unique to helping me accomplish my goals. So if I don't like doing something or I don't enjoy it, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I rarely have those days. Now, there has been times in this journey where you feel like you're on an island. I think one thing, we're starting a business at 24, 25, and all your other friends are like still working, or your family and everybody don't understand the vision.
They're kind of
like it's kind of hard. Like I don't have too many people to vent to. Like it's growing now, but like I try not to complain, because the way I put it is, you can't complain having your plate full if all you wanted to was to eat. You know, I can get that together. But basically, so I try not to complain. I try to lock in on it, but there are all those times where I'm like, it takes a different type of person. I remember when I first started my business, I wanted everybody I know to start a business. I was like, start a business, quit your job, do this. Yeah. Until a couple months in, I was like, oh no, this is not for everybody.
It's really, it takes something, because you're bearing all the risk, but also all the reward. The reward is like 10 times bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at times it does kind of get, when I have wins, it's kind of hard to share it. Because it comes off the wrong way at times. Or when I have lows, it's like, I can't, what I'm complaining for? I signed up for this. So it's kind of, but you find your people over time. You know, you have friends who start to make the conversion to, starting their own business so they can relate to you more. And as you grow throughout your journey and be in certain rooms, you meet people that's at your level. I think starting a business in your early 20s too, like, you are on the island since, because every single networking event I go to, I am the youngest in the room.
No, I get it 100%. Where it's like you're constantly. It's hard to sometimes relate to your peers, because it's like, man, like all the people that like are doing what I'm doing are like 10, 20 years like ahead of me. But you will find your tribe. I've even noticed like when with You Matter Studios in the journey, I've just started to really find my tribe now, where it's like folks who are driven and ambitious, because it was just getting hard to relate to folks that weren't. You know, so I'm glad that you're finding your balance.
It took some time, and I don't mind being in those rooms with those individuals, because
you need to.
They're a couple years ahead of the game. And I get to learn from them. So when I go to these events, I went to a dinner the other day. I think I was the youngest. Somebody else was like maybe 6-7 years older than me, and everybody else was 41 and up. Wow. So I'm just sitting here just listening, and I was finally comfortable to speak up and kind of tell my journey a little bit. Because you'd be surprised. I mean, if you, like for me, taking this leap of faith at 24, 25, starting my own business, like, I'm doing all right.
So
I get to go in these rooms, and I get to actually add value there. But most importantly, I'm a listener. A lot of my circle, at least my mentors and the family that I relate to the most, happen to be 15, 20 years older than me. So I'm a listener, and I love learning from other people's mistakes, and I'm an open book, so it helps.
Open book like a tax book?
I'm going to use that one. Might see it on a t-shirt. Let me see. Look.
Open book like a tax book. Look. All right, so we have a fun segment. With it's called Yay or Nay.
That wasn't fun? No, I just said. Look.
It's a more fun.
No, it's all right.
Funner is not a word, right? So it's more fun.
Okay.
We have a fun segment called Yay or Nay.
Okay.
And it's about money. Okay. Yay or nay? Investing in a 401k.
Yay. Okay,
cool. When should you do that?
Yay. No, just you want that? Okay. You didn't say I had to give advice. Look. You should start investing in a 401k as early as you can. A lot of people, especially if you have a good job, you have a 401k plan, and employer matches. So at the bare minimum, if your job is saying, hey, we're going to match anything you put up there, or we're going to give you 4% match, like at the bare minimum, match what they're going to give you. Stop leaving free money on the table. So everybody should need the 401k. If you plan on leaving a job, there's different avenues where you can put into different buckets when you leave. But at the bare minimum, don't leave free money on the table. And the perks of being young is that the earlier we start, the better off we're going to be, right?
It's just like grows.
It's a snowball effect, right? When your interest compounds over time. So yay to the 401k, yay to starting as early as possible.
Okay. Roth IRA.
Yay, super yay.
Okay. This is my knowledge.
Okay.
Roth IRA taxes you now. 401k taxes you when you retire.
Basically, yes. There you go. Yep. Yeah, it's and to break that down to make it easier, it's a pre-tax account versus an after-tax. So right now, with the way it works is, what a Roth is, you put money into a Roth today, you'll pay taxes on that money now, and then it grows tax-free. So when you retire, you can pull out that $400,000 and not have to pay a penny in taxes.
Wow.
Versus with a 401k, you got $400,000 in there. Well, guess what? When you take out 10, 20, 30K, you got to pay taxes on that amount. Now, not saying one is better than the other. It's good to have a combination of both.
Okay, good.
But a Roth, especially because there's income phase outs to it. Everybody hear about Roth, but if you're making like above a certain threshold, I don't want to give you the wrong number. It's like 140, 180. That's a huge gap. But long story short, once you start making above a certain threshold, you can no longer contribute directly to a Roth. So then you're forced to use different methods, backdoor. I don't want to complicate things. But long story short, while you're young in the early stages of your business or just having a job, invest into that 401k, and if you have extra money that you want to put towards retirement, max out that Roth as long as you can, because it may not be around down the road. So you want to maximize that so you can have a combination of both.
Okay, period. So yay to 401k, right? Yay to Roth IRA. Crypto. Yay or nay?
The middle ground, yay.
Okay, I don't know what the middle ground.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yay, nay. I gotta combine it. Yeah. Invest in crypto if you understand crypto.
Okay.
I had somebody call me literally 2 days ago. He's like, yeah, man, I want to start investing. So if I invest in crypto, I'm going to be rich. And I was like, hold on, bro. Hold on.
We all kind of
think,
like Bitcoin, whatever. What are the other kind of cryptos?
And I'm not an expert on investing, so I'm going to give you a very general advice.
Okay, that's fine.
But when you think about cryptocurrencies, you think about the people that's really rich off Bitcoin and everything, invested 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they held their money in those assets. Now, what makes crypto unique compared to stocks is that it can jump rapidly. So right now, you put $1 in a random coin right now, it could be up 200% tomorrow. 200%. But it can also be down 3,000%. So that floor and that ceiling is just
it's very turbulent.
Yeah, so I put money in crypto because I don't need that money. So I'm okay with putting $50 or $100 in there a month because I was gonna spend that on the drink anyway. So it can do whatever it want to do, you know. So that money can fluctuate and do whatever. But I would say crypto is fine, but you want to diversify your portfolio. If you're trying to retire in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, don't put all your money in Bitcoin because it may go down 90% tomorrow and now you're losing all your money. So crypto is great. Make sure you understand the coin and understand that a coin that has a long-term value and actual purpose, like the blockchain. But to answer your question, yay, but only if you understand it. Otherwise, nay. Or put money in it, but just don't plan to get rich overnight. You know, that's just shift your mindset about it.
Y'all take notes. Okay, multiple credit cards.
Yay.
Okay. Is there a limit? The limit does not exist. I'm sorry, I had to.
That's more so, it's based on your unique situation.
Okay.
How many credit cards do you have?
One. I actually just got one lately.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's
I've had a credit card for a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, how many credit cards do you think I have?
5.
Probably got like 8. And
wait, actually, no, I have 2 credit cards. I got an Ulta one too.
We're rounded to 3. Okay, but yeah, big picture is like credit cards. It just depends on your situation.
Wait, 8? Why?
Well, I got 3 for my business.
Okay.
I have a Discover card I got freshman year in college.
Okay.
That is only for Netflix.
Okay.
Right? Because you think about credit, just because I have credit cards, I don't mean I use them. Like, you want to keep your credit utilization as low as possible. So if you got a $3,000 credit limit, me showing that I'm spending $15 a month on Netflix, not 15 no more, but it's showing, hey, 1, he's using his card. 2, when the lenders look at it, he's like, okay, we gave him $3,000 of credit, but he only used 15. My credit utilization is extremely good and it helps me build my credit. But a lot of people don't realize that. So I have a Chase card. That's my everyday expenses because I get cash back. By the end of the year, I have at least $2,000 of cash back. And guess who doesn't have to buy Christmas gifts? Me. I use that for it, right? I have a card that specializes in travel. So when I do travel, I'm getting miles, right? So it's different ways you can do it. I have a card that's strictly for food because you get cash back. So I don't use all these cards. I got one card with me, and that's the one I'm going to use for the rest of the month. But like having those additional credit cards, if you know how to use them, you're good. Because a lot of people get credit cards, and they use them, and they max them out. Like, don't get no credit card if you're going to max it out. Like, get it and understanding you can build your credit if you have a few. So it's okay with having multiple credit lines, but you don't have to use all of them. Just put a Netflix bill or something small on it and pay it off so you can build your credit a lot faster.
Y'all, I'm learning so much right now.
Look, yeah.
I need to change my life.
Look. Yeah, you get all type of advice on credit. I'll give you the most simple credit advice in the world. Get a credit card. Only swipe it if you can afford it.
That part.
Like, I'm going to have the money in 3 weeks. No, if you ain't got that money in your checking account, don't use that credit card.
You still got to pay it.
Because I don't even know how to say it. Was it Calara?
Exactly.
You got things like that. You got, no shade, but like you get things like that. And now that's helping your credit. But at the same time is you stretch out these payments too far.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. So I got a couple credit cards, but I've never been in like a bad situation with them. Because if I was, I would have been stuck in corporate America, right? Because I can't leave because I got these credit card payments.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, to answer your question, yay, but only get it if you're going to use it responsibly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have one more. I'm going to skip the next one because you already kind of talked about this one.
Okay.
Personal accounting tools. So like QuickBooks, TurboTax, we kind of talked about it, but is it for sure yay or nay?
Yay. Yeah. Yay to QuickBooks for sure. You need that. Even as your business grows, beginning stages. I got clients who making north of $500,000 a year who use QuickBooks. TurboTax is yay if you're single and you by yourself and you got a W-2. But the moment you start making money, no to TurboTax. Invest in somebody who's going to grow with you as you start making more money, start investing and building a family.
Okay. All right, y'all. Take those notes.
Noted. Look.
So let's bring it full circle. When did you realize you're more than just a CPA? And you were like, what I'm doing is literally changing lives.
I think for me, the whole CPA thing, like, it's a good title. I like it. It's cool. It's cool. But it's more to me than just that, you know. I understand like branding and marketing and business, like it comes off as CPA. Fun story, I never had an Instagram or Twitter a day in my life until I started my own business. Wow. So that whole CPA stuff, I got to use it because of that. But to be honest, don't really care too much about the title. But to answer your question, now that I am a CPA and I earned it, and where I discovered where I'm adding the most value is it took time because a lot of times we have conversations with other CPAs or other people in the financial space, and we talk about Roths, we talk about 401ks, and it's a normal conversation. And I forget that when I talk to you or I talk to my clients who own who carpenters or contractors within the like they never got taught about that stuff. So when I start realizing that, like my common sense, that's common sense to me and my friend group, isn't common sense to the rest of the world. So once I started actually creating content on social media, I started growing my business, actually speaking with people. I'm like, oh, like I have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And like you said, a lot of CPAs or tax preparers, they just prep your taxes and they let you leave. But like I treat everybody like family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I really care. And I only work with a small group of business owners throughout the year because I'm not trying to grow this large firm where I'm working 100 different people. I really just want to work with a small group because I care and I actually want to help take the business to the next level. Wow. So that's my approach. And I realized that being a CPA was a good thing, especially when I was slightly different than everybody else because of I bring who I am. Like when I work with a client, especially my business owners, I interview you too. Yeah. Like that first call, I made it clear on that last calendar question. This is not advice. This is a conversation. I want to get to know you and vice versa because if my vibe and your vibe don't match, or if you like, hey, I want to be a millionaire by tomorrow, or I don't want to pay nothing in taxes by tomorrow. Like, hey, bro, I'm not helping you with that.
It's like, this ain't gonna work.
You go to jail on your own time. But it's
not the jail.
Yeah. You being over Diddy. But yeah, too soon. My bad. But yeah. I think realizing the value that I can add. Yeah. And most importantly for me, because, you know, it comes down to confidence too as well. As a business owner, when you start actually believing your product, is when I had clients for a full year. And I can say, hey, look, I told you I was going to save you $30,000 in taxes. Now the year is over. I actually saved you $75,000. Now you start seeing that, and it not only does it like make it easier for your clients to see your value, but from an internal standpoint,
it's a reminder.
It's a reminder. Oh yeah, all right, okay. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now, where I know my worth. I'm learning my worth every single day, but I'm going to charge my price because I understand the value. Like if I speak with you in a consultation call, my hourly rate is kind of up there, but I guarantee during that call, hey, look, I'm gonna save you this times 10 within the first 10 minutes of this conversation, just because I know the strategies that I know that I can implement for the everyday business owner. So it works. Took some time, but yeah, I definitely now see it, especially being in those different rooms and around older accountants and seeing the traditional way of doing things. Like me bringing myself and my expertise and my knowledge and just the whole experience to it, it works out. So
y'all give it up for Darion!
Look.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? Next year, a couple months. What's the vision? How long?
I mean, we could talk about forever. No,
yeah.
But like, let's say 5 years from now.
Ooh, I shouldn't have asked.
Exactly.
I don't even know where I'm gonna be at tomorrow morning. Look. Okay, I guess what's next for me. So one, I'm a very strategic about building on my business. So I spent the last 2 years building it to where it's at today. Just started accepting clients 10 days ago for our bookkeeping and accounting services proactively. So I think that's built out to where I want it.
Okay.
Now I want to refine those systems.
Okay,
and tax
cool.
time come around, I don't have a life. It's like from January to April.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit back, enjoy life a little bit. But my ultimate goal of where I see myself business-wise in 5 years, I definitely want to have a team. At least 3 to 5 people here in the U.S.
You will.
Hands down. But at that age, I'll be 32. So
Period.
I'm 27 now.
Period.
And I'm hoping that I'll be in a position where I want to be able to not only be able to have the financial resources to take care of my family, but have the time.
Yes.
Everything I do today and the sacrifice. I was working until 12 a.m. yesterday. Was it Friday night I was working? And that's because I understood that you got to make these sacrifices sometimes.
To pay off for the future.
Right. But I won't be having to do that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, when I have a family, when I have a wife. So my goal is in 5 years is to continue to what I'm doing now and figuring out a way that I can systemize my business and keep the same high level customer service, but at the same time free up more time so I can be present for my family. So that can be a broad, different ways to get to it. I guess on a personal level, I'm gonna keep saying this.
I was gonna say, let's get to the personal.
Me, I wanna actually. My short-term goal is to leave Illinois finally. I'm gonna keep saying this so I can look back at this like, hey, bro, you said you was leaving.
Exactly. What the coast or where?
No, not the. You see your hurricane?
Wait, that's fine.
Yeah.
But still, it's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry. Hopefully, everybody that's going through that stuff on a serious note is good. But I just need kind of a middle ground. Like I moved downtown this summer so I can step out and be in a different environment. Feel like I'm downtown, living in the South Loop, so amazing view. Yeah. I just want to switch it up because my Saturdays were out on the water, having fun.
Yes.
Now I want my weekends to be out in nature, hiking, and giving me an opportunity to think. I feel like
Seattle?
We're looking at Denver, somewhere in the middle.
Denver, okay.
That's
because Seattle's
very, for me.
Okay. So you're saying avoid, because I've lived in Seattle a bit. So if you're very nature, I'm like, Seattle's the spot. But Denver, Colorado, that's the spot too.
See, if I'm in Denver, I'm a little closer to Seattle versus now,
Exactly.
But the vision is just to create a different environment so I can think. I feel like we're so busy at times and we're moving around, even in the U.S. So just business owners, just go. But I want to go, but we need to find time to sit back and think.
Yeah.
And I feel like as just a young man in general and just a person in general, if you got the ability to think for yourselves and actually have the time to just focus on your dream and goals, it'll make you a dangerous person.
100%.
So I want to take the next 2 to 3 years to take a step back and to actually just focus on my dreams and goals, but also to reevaluate them so I can figure out, making sure that 1, my business is good, but 2, making sure I'm creating a business that evolves around my lifestyle.
Yes.
So just getting a little bit more clarity of my purpose, my goals, and what type of man I want to be. So that's my goal on a personal level. It's kind of just getting away a little bit, growing the business, but most importantly, having fun in the process.
Okay, perfect. Yes! And I will say, it kind of is full circle because you even talked about when you were in Barcelona and you got that time alone. Yeah. There's just that value of just having that time to really, sit in it and figure out where do I want to go.
Exactly.
So to close out, a couple questions. Okay. What advice do you have to Yay Nation to make sure they are financially literate and equipped to take on this world?
Education is key.
Yes.
The best advice, top 3, or the best advice I got after graduating college was to never stop learning. Yes. All right, cheers to Jesse. And when I first heard that, I was like, bro, I just passed the CPA exam. I just graduated. What I do? I'm done.
I was like, I'm done. I learned everything, got the degree. I'm good.
What do you mean never stop learning? And now it hits me because I try to learn something new every day. And I feel like money, when we talk about taxes, right? That's one of our largest expenses, y'all. It's not going nowhere. You think about the average person, you paying 22% federal, 5% state. You got Social Security, Medicare, you got property tax, guilt. This comes out to about 30 to 40 to 50% of your income, depending on what tax bracket you is. And we keep overlooking it because it's just normal, right? So I just want to encourage you all to just find some time to keep learning, and not just about money, but just to learn about yourself. Build your emotional intelligence. I could take it if I wanted to, but just keep learning every single day. Yeah, you got to. Keep learning. Do what makes you happy. And most importantly, be intentional about your relationships.
Yeah.
A life and business and everything is just built around relationships, I'm learning. And just making sure that you got people in your life that's going to add value to your life, but also help you grow into that next person. So keep growing, keep learning, and keep being great. That's my advice.
Okay, period. And you are on Every Day is a Yay. How do you make your every day a yay?
I wake up and I do whatever I want to do.
Okay, period.
That's it. Before I go to sleep, I look at my sticky note and I put what I want to do for the day. And if it don't align with my goals or my vision, or if it don't bring some type of happiness to my life, then I don't do it. So make every day yay by doing what I want to do every single day.
It's giving autonomy. Okay. All right. So how can we support you?
Well, one, you can support me by supporting yourself by following on Instagram or YouTube at Wiggs CPA. Just because I do just work with a specialized group of business owners throughout the year. But my goal, like I said in the beginning, is I want to teach.
Yes.
I want to be in a position where you can feel comfortable learning from me and comfortable coming to me with your questions. So definitely tap in on Instagram and LinkedIn and all those things at Wiggs CPA. And if you do have a small business owner, or you know somebody who has questions, or they want to have somebody proactively work with them throughout the year for the accounting services, don't hesitate to reach out. We're definitely open to helping more people reach their accomplish their financial goals, basically.
Okay, period. Give it up for Darion Wiggs! Yay Nation, what a powerful episode. And I can be sure that all of us feel ready to really build our financial wealth and just be confident. Okay, period. With that said, thank you again for tuning in. And remember, you have the power to make every day a yay!